CNI 602 Video Reflection 2. How do we fix America's schools? Turning the learning right side up really opened my eyes to a lot of the issues that we have in today's school systems. One of the biggest problems is simply the design of our school systems. It was originally designed during the Industrial Revolution, which basically caused schools to work just like factories, and students were basically taught to work as part of a machine. The effect of this was, instead of schools developing innovators, it caused students to basically become robots. They weren't encouraged to be creative. They were pretty much encouraged just to simply know a quick answer. Problem with this is, there are no quick answers in the real world and in life. Life is about solving problems that we don't know the outcome to. There is no exact answer, like most textbooks would suggest. The video that we watched in class, Changing Education Paradigms, say that our schools basically today teach that there's one right answer, there's one way to get that answer, and that it's in the back of the book. That's a sad reality. I know that's how I went through most of my high school days, but it'd be one thing if we could say that we've progressed past these Industrial Revolution days, but the truth is that we haven't. The system that was designed then hasn't really changed much at all. During my research, I talked to a lot of teachers, and they constantly talk about the standardized testing and how it affects education. Basically, it's standardized testing has continued to produce the robots. They all say that they would like to use more effective methods, but they can't really afford to. The system has greatly hindered the students' ability to learn because it's taken away the light bulb moment in a student's life. And what I mean is, research has proven that allowing students to discover things at their own pace is the most effective way to learn. Teachers have to stand up there and force feed information down students' throats because they don't have time to allow students to learn at their own pace. They have to quickly get the information into the student's head, so teachers can allow effective learning to actually take place in the classroom, because they got to meet deadlines. Students must obtain enough facts, not knowledge, facts, before a certain amount of time so that they can do well on a test that reflects on them and the teacher. The sad reality is that like I've been stating, it doesn't allow the student to discover things on their own at their own time, which is when true learning takes place. And furthermore, the students who pick up things at a slower pace, they get labeled with a learning disability and are forced to seek help. It's honestly a sad situation in our schools today. Another thing that research has proven is that the most effective ways for a student to discover these light bulb moments is through conversation and play. But what's ironic about this is that those are the two things that students are forbidden to do when they're in school. Students are basically told to simply sit down, be quiet, and gather somewhat meaningless facts. They're discouraged from developing ideas because those ideas might contradict what a textbook says. It's terrible. It destroys a student's ability to understand and analyze and apply important information, which is basically what is needed in the real world anyways. I mean, it's one thing to know facts, but if you can't apply it to real life situations, then you're not going to go anywhere. So what can we do about all this? How do we fix it? That's an even tougher question. The only thing I can think of is to allow teachers to take control of the curriculum. Maybe they could form teams work together with each other, work with parents, members of the community. Maybe they can develop some sort of concrete plan, for their education. Um, teach community values, which we have learned is still an important part of every school's curriculum. But more importantly, we need to begin to present students with real life issues, issues within society, and ask them how they would solve it. That's the most effective way that they're going to learn how to survive in the real world. And it's going to help them, reach their goals. I mean, they're going to be, they're going to have adversity in their life, and they're going to have to, need to know, how to solve these problems. Another way that we could possibly fix these problems is some states have already begun this, but they've begun to focus on new economy skills. Corporations have even started getting involved to help develop 21st century skills. Basically, within the school day, in addition to the usual core subjects, they focus on developing critical thinking, decision making, creativity, innovation, and information with and technology skills. Basically, all these things are at the very top of Bloom's taxonomy pyramid instead of at the bottom, which the current system keeps students at. Another small issue that I noticed in some of my research, Gina Burkhart, who's the CEO of nonprofit Learning Point Associates, she stated that the U.S. Department of Education spends 0.1% of its budget on research and development. That is truly sad. To not be researching, better ways to improve our school systems is, it's sad. It's a huge disappointment. They spend the majority of their money on textbooks, which, as we stated, is part of the problem in the first place. And furthermore, when new ideas are brought up from this research that discover new promising results on teaching methods and stuff, they're mostly ignored. There's not much development at all in trying to improve our school systems. So, I mean, that's something that also needs to change. That's for sure. So how does this issue relate to my field experience? In my classroom, my teacher that I'm with teaches a lot of civics and everything, but he teaches AP Government as well. And I don't know how many times I've heard him say, just this semester, the students will ask if they can do something, and he does pretty well with trying different techniques and stuff to help the students learn, but he always says, we have to learn this information, you have to know it for the AP exam. And the students hate it. Like, that's not fun at all, like to sit there and just have information thrown at you and you just regurgitate it on a test. That's not learning at all. That's basically what we've learned this entire semester in this course is that's not meaningful learning. So I mean, that's basically all I got. I mean, those are the only ways I can think of to help fix it. Whether it's doable, I don't know, with government mandates and the policies. We'll have to see. Hopefully something can be fixed in the near future, because America is really beginning to suffer, and it's up to this generation of teachers to change the course. So hopefully we'll be able to do that.